free. They could record
wonderful evening, Nigerians. This program, whatever it is, I will always tell you, if you have a campaign and you want to run for office, please to advertise be a part of the program. By just telling your friends, if you're already watching us, to like our page, Television Nigeria, on Facebook and also on YouTube, and then you can click on the live button. You'll be part of the program live, and you can send in your messages, send in your comments, and we will get to read them. Thank you for being part of the program today. Today, as usual, thank God the Mace has been returned, but the front burner of today's topic is our president's speech in London. At the Economic Forum, he had the opportunity to address prospective investors and other heads of state, and our president released another bombshell. For some time on this program, we'll be talking about the youth, giving the youth a platform, giving the youth a chance to participate in politics. And several commentators have been on this program to either advise us on how to go about it, telling us the youth are not ready. As if the president has been listening to them, he also re-echoed the fact that the youths are not ready by saying that Nigerian youths are lazy. And I will be discussing this with a brother and a friend who obviously is also a young man. Fortunately, he's a young technocrat and a politician. In fact, is going to be contesting for the House of Representatives in the forthcoming election to represent Amak and Buhari Federal Constituency, which Gusapi, where we are, is part of that region. Prince David Adetunji Adeyeye, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ernest. Thank you so much.
It's so good to have you on the program. Thank you for coming. Young Progressive Party is the platform you're going to be running on for the House of Rep. But before we talk about your political journey and what you need to do and how you plan to do it, let's first talk about what has been happening so far. The social media has been so agog with this story, and there's been comments here and there. People are bashing the president, some are hailing him, some are bashing, and people are just complaining. The president saying the Nigerian youths are lazy now. We have a population of 180 million. And 60 million or thereabout are youth who are not educated, like he said. And they just sit and believing that Nigeria is an oil-rich country, so they can get free education, free housing, and free medical care. And it comes to my mind to ask a question. What is the government all about if not providing these things?
Thank you, Ernest. Again, I have to say thank you to Television Nigeria for having me. Unlike you, Ernest, the majority of Nigerian youth today is not having a good day. We have been assaulted by the statement of Mr. President by deliberately denigrating the very core fundamental group of people that are this systemic engine of this nation, that are running this nation, to say that we are lazy, we are uneducated, we want everything for free. It's a shame. It's a shame because it's really actually put Mr. President on the spot that he doesn't understand what it means to be commander-in-chief. A commander-in-chief of any country is a chief marketer of his nation. You can go abroad and say by any standard that your people are lazy, your people are senseless, your people are uneducated. It shows, you know, the mindset of the people we have in leadership. With due respect to Mr. President, I think he got this one wrong. He needs to apologize and retract that statement.
Is this not a case of one mistakes too many?
Oh, indeed,
because every time he travels abroad,
yeah.
he travels abroad, that is when he always goes out to markets. According to PDP, when PDP were advising him 2 days ago, they asked him that, sir, when you have the opportunity to speak, please tell the world what is going on with us and not demarketing the nation. It's like the president didn't even listen to that, and he went ahead to make such. And he's been doing this consistently.
Absolutely, and I would agree with you. And I'm not being presumptuous or being, you know, egoistic to speak for a generation, to speak for my generation that has been so battered by this same set of people that have really not put the infrastructure there or put the sound education there that can produce the best possible in the world. That we will now leave this generation to be stranded on their own, trying to carve out the best for themselves. Nigerian young people all over the world, Africa, Europe, America, Asia, are excelling well in leadership, in, you know, academic excellence, in innovation, in all sorts of things. Now, with due and profound respect to Mr. President, as a elder and as a father, in a way, he's lost the remaining sympathy that exists for him on the part of youth for his appeared cluelessness and underperformance. Now, I don't shy to say this with due respect to Mr. President. You don't give what you don't have. So the president going continuously abroad and bashing Nigeria and demarketing us as a nation is a reflection of himself as a person. It's a reflection of I don't want to be rude, but it's a reflection of his mental states. Because I've never seen any leader in the world that goes out to denigrate the population. He doesn't understand the issues facing the demographic makeup of the country that he governs. You know, the issue of good and bad exists anywhere in the world. So you can't even say or retract like
okay, yeah,
the media.
Femi Adesina was trying to retract to say he didn't say,
so tell me,
say all, he said a lot.
Yeah, tell me any country that you don't have good and you don't have bad. When I was coming up to this studio today, what I saw was Nigerian young people selling oranges, hawking maize and corn on the street, doing okada, you know, some, I even saw some on the quarry. You have a quarry down below. Yeah. Young Nigerian people working, sweating hard, where you have these clueless leaders that call ourselves political leaders, you know, mismanaging the economy and failing monumentally and saying that to demand for education is asking for too much, to demand for public health is asking for too much, to demand for sound housing policy that address our current population. Do you know it's estimated that our population is going to double in the next few years? We don't have good road infrastructure. We don't have effective power sector. We don't have a functional transportation system. And then you see we're demanding. If that's if that's the definition of asking for things, then by all means we would ask, and we would ask at the end of February 2019 by giving our own verdict to Mr. President to say thank you very much, you've done so well, but we are changing you.
Because lazy youths will need to go out. But some people are saying that Mr. President wrote on the back of youths.
Oh, indeed.
When he was campaigning.
Indeed.
In 2015, it was the youths that helped him remove the incumbent. That brought him in. It was the youths that campaigned for him. It was the youth that believed in him, that went out all the way to make sure he is president. And it's that same youth today, he's not saying, look.
No, I'm happy that Mr. President said that to us, and then it's given the doubting Thomas among the youth to say, hey, it's about time that we rally around and work as a homogeneous group to put ourselves in power, to represent us, to put ourselves in governance, because I'm sure we have capable youth that will do better than Mr. President. Now, the youth did not only vote for Mr. President. sent money to buy his farm, sent money into his campaign, sent money to promote him. The youth did all of that. And now the same constituent rather, you say are lazy, you say wanting for free. Oh, it was Mr. President not wanting for free when he was taking donation from you to support his campaign?
But is there any positives in this thing?
There cannot be. There cannot be.
There might be.
No, sir.
It could be a wake-up call for the youth.
Oh, no. You see, the youth are already woken up long ago.
Okay.
We're just waiting for the manifestation of time for this 2019 elections. But we are already energizing and synergizing and mobilizing to say, oh, you know what? We won't have a future anymore if we continue to follow blindly this generation. You know, don't forget that Mr. President was part of the military generation that imposed this military constitution that we're using, that doesn't guarantee justice, fairness, and equity, that doesn't give us state policing, that doesn't give us a restructured country, that doesn't give us equality. Now, the youth are just waiting for time and say, okay, 2019, we would send a very strong signal from one end of the country to the other and say, enough of all of that.
But also, you went to London and also told the Prime Minister of England that his government does not done badly.
Right.
And he said that wicked people from the past forgetting that, because some people say that he's also from the past because he was one time, like you mentioned, that wicked people from the past have been part of the problem, that we are not moving forward. Right. And since the inception of this government, it is on record that more youths have gone into different vices, like the Yahoo boys. Indeed. It's improving every day. Indeed. The MMM scandal, the people going into Ponzi scheme, people looking for get-rich-quick ways. Naira Bet is making so much money because obviously people don't have any other thing to hold on to but the hope of trying to make quick money.
Right, okay. I would even disagree with you respectfully. Some of those things that you mentioned are not entirely negative. I could tell you that I don't gamble, I don't support gambling, but there's nothing wrong to make legitimate ends meet from such things. Okay. I don't support the Ponzi scheme. And it's not even the youth that caused this thing. It's the absence of regulation, absence of institutions to regulate.
So institutions that fail.
Exactly. And also, we live in a country that to get job when you graduate, it's almost an impossible task. We live in a country that you cannot get single-digit interest loan to start your business. We live in a country where you can't even boast of, few hours power supply to start up your business. If you want to be, self-employed, a small-scale industrialist. So let's even take, conversion of gari, like cassava to gari. You need power. You have to think about having your own standby generator. And you now say that the youth are lazy or
waiting for handouts,
or they are going to negative set by finding very not criminal ways to earn living.
But some of them are doing criminal things like internet
Oh,
fraud.
yes, I agree with you.
Is it a case of when the idle mind is a devil's workshop, or because they don't have any place they can transfer their positive energy into, so they're taking it to the negative?
I would not at any time or occasion support fraud or any criminality at all, for whatever reason. I mean, I grew up from a very poverty-stricken community and family. I had to do what I did, like hawking water, working as a part-time steward, attendant in Premier Hotel in Baden to be able to pay my school fees at university and all of that. So there are other alternatives.
You've gone through the ropes.
Yeah, there are other alternatives to crime, right? But the government needs to do more to discourage crime. And now, what do you do to discourage crime? You must actually provide some of the things that I referred to earlier on. You must provide single-digit interest loan, very sound monetary banking policies. Even as a salary earner now, if I want to go for loan, probably looking at 25, 26 to 30% interest rate. What business do I want to start? You know, to start that can build up and consolidate. You're paying that kind of interest. It's only in Nigeria and this part of the world that you have such crazy monumental interest rates.
But what can the government do to harness this youth? Because to perpetrate an internet fraud, you need to be very smart.
Oh yes, indeed. Thank you.
You need to be very smart to be able to use that to convince somebody to part with his money. Is there no positive way the government can harness these young people and then say, look, instead of doing it this way, why don't you put this your expertise to positive use?
Absolutely, absolutely. You see, government do have fundamental roles in national economies. So government do need to put in the basic infrastructure
in place,
and then let people, you know, derive on that. So what do you need? You need to provide power. You need to provide good roads. You need to provide public health that works for everybody, irrespective of class. You need to provide sound education that is able to form men and young women that will be of moral and sound integrity. But government has failed along all these lines, you know.
But where did he get his statistics from?
Okay.
Because as far as I'm concerned, majority of Nigerian youths are educated one way or the other, at least mostly up to secondary school level or thereabout. Right. So I don't know where he's getting the statistics from and who's giving him this. And moreover, the former government, the past government had a shopping program that when this government came in, they changed it to Empower. How has this Empower really impacted on the youths?
You know, I have to guide myself so that I don't, probably risk arrest. You know, if I go to the monumental failure and corruptions and the very stinking things that have gone through all those things that I mentioned. I'm not going to address all of that. Yeah. But I have to say that there has to be accountability, transparency at all levels of government. And as of today, it's begging the question.
With all this, do you see him winning 2019 without the youth?
Because I speak out, plainly I speak out my mind. I speak the truth the way I see it. I've been attacked online by the pro-Buharis that, they've called me all sort of names, and it doesn't bother me, but I'll keep saying the truth. Well, it will take a very, not patriotic Nigeria to want to go to Mr. President with this record of underperformance. I don't see him coming back. And in any case, the lazy youth now, this time we are going to show Mr. President and the establishment party that we are hardworking. We are mobilizing seriously and homogeneously to vote them out.
But to some school of thought, they say him going out to say this in front of other heads of government and in front of the economic community that were present, it was more an indictment on his government for having 60% of the youth in this country not educated.
But you see, those government don't even take him serious. I will tell you why. If you go to America today, the top crop of nurses in the American public health system are Nigerians. The top of doctors in the American public system are Nigerians. Statistics that Nigerians as communities in America and Europe are the top performed, well-educated, so they know this. They know this, and that's what Mr. President doesn't even understand. Those countries, one way or the other, are luring this so-called lazy, uneducated Nigeria to work and service their economy.
There was an exodus of doctors leaving the country for other countries.
Absolutely.
Not too long ago.
Absolutely. I schooled in Europe. So I tell you, I've met fantastic Nigerians doing so well across the board. I've met Nigerians in all areas of life excelling. So, if you keep denigrating your people, those countries do know, and they have all sort of ways to encourage and incentivize willing Nigeria to come and help contribute to their own society. So it's left for Mr. President to keep shooting us down, to keep deselling us.
But what is this back and forth that always happens between him and his media career? Is it that nobody's writing his speech? Because sometimes you see, like, he will come out and say something. Recently, before he traveled to London, he declared that he was running for 2019, but only to meet with he met with the Bishop of Canterbury and still said the same thing, but only to meet with the Prime Minister and now said he's only interested in fulfilling the promises and not concentrating or focusing on 2019.
Yeah, with profound respect to the President and his team, I think the President actually materializes his competence when it talks like that. So you can actually make your conclusion when it talks like that.
Some say maybe it's age, maybe it's a bit old. Some say it's his health, and some say it's not getting the right advice. Some say it's not even listening to anybody.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you respectfully. Okay. We have sound old men still, in public offices across the board that have been better, than Mr. President in certain respect. I think it's a reflection. I don't want to say too much. It's a reflection of his own personality rather than anything. Well, it's of course a factor, but I mean,
But you are from a political platform that says Young People's Party, right?
Indeed.
So just let's know a bit about what the manifesto of the Young People's Party is and how, if given a chance, you could better the lot than what we're saying.
All right. First of all, the Young Progressive Party is a
Young Progressive.
Young Progressive Party is a youth-centric party that have very serious ideologies. We are not a political party just to be one or the kind of food is ready political party. We want to be the social agent of change. We want to be the solution agent. So our ideologies is to totally find means, constitutional means to restructure this country for equity, fairness and justice. We want an economy that is not all dependent, but diversified across multi levels. So agriculture, transportation, even manufacturing to serve and sell to the West African region and beyond. We want a very dynamic and functioning economy.
Do you see you guys joining the third force?
Well, there's a lot of consultation and conversation going on. We are just very cautious to see that we don't, in the anticipation to consolidate our effort with others, we don't want to jump to the wrong conclusion. We want to see the quality, the integrity.
We'll come back to talk about the Young Progressive Party, and then we'll also talk about your running for the House of Representatives. Now let's go back, because we still need to talk more about young people. What exactly is the problem with young people in politics?
Okay, it's not a straightforward answer and problem, but this is the way I see it. The young people don't have problem on their own, but you have a particular generation who, at the expense of self-preservation, I'm talking about the political class. The elite. Now, sowing seed of discord among the young people, indoctrinating them for self-interest. So, this is a generation that has all the carrots, that has all the opportunity in the world, that has all the power, in the world, and then use that to destabilize that demography. They do that in terms of, withdrawing sound educational, platform that can really train and educate very independent and deep thinking youth. I don't know how rich you are, but I can afford to send my kids to the big schools that charges millions of naira. Why should that be?
when,
you know,
when we should have public schools.
Exactly, that is functional. So what should be the type of education that I get be dependent on my economic status?
So,
you know, so long you have that kind of dysfunctional public educational policy, what can you have? When the foundation is faulty,
you have big kids coming
exactly.
out.
When the foundation is faulty, what can you do?
What
so again, they then use money, and that's what I say to young people this time. You must be able to say no to dirty money politics no more, because that's one of the very tools that have been used to divide us, to cause confusion and politics. Indeed.
So is there clean money politics?
Oh yes, indeed. I'm going to run a campaign that's going to be funded by 1 naira, 2 naira from the street, from the average malam that sells suya, from the average councillor.
But that was what happened to President Muhammadu Buhari, and look at what
that's because at the time there was so much goodwill. We believed in him. We have absolute trust that he was going to do that. But he has shown us better.
Do you think the president is really in touch with the realities on ground?
I doubt it. I doubt it. With all the rest, I doubt that Mr. President is out of touch with realities. He's out of touch with the realities on Boko Haram. He's out of touch with realities on economic indices. He's out of touch with the realities even on our budgeting. How can you have a budget that 2/3 of it does not address capital development
and expenditures?
You know. So how do you then do a budget that does not develop your infrastructure? It's out of tune, out of reality, with even the demography that it governs.
But he's supposed to have people that are supposed to help him. It took him 6 months to appoint ministers. It took him 6 months to appoint people who work. The first thing he did when he came on board was, rather than have an economic team, he first of all constituted a media team. Is it that he was planning to run a propaganda government, or?
Again, I don't want to give short answers, but I would say that it's a reflection of the capacity and the competence of the Mr. President, some of the things that he's done. You don't give what you don't have. It's as simple as that.
Okay, so we'll go on a short break, and when we come back from the break, we will speak more with you and then get to know what you're planning to do come 2019 as a member of the House of Rep representing the Buhari Federal Constituency. We'll go on a short break. Don't go anywhere. The recap will continue after this break.
For almost a decade, the Nigerian army have given their all. Our dear country is not overrun by Boko Haram insurgents. Some have in the process paid the ultimate price, while many will forever live with indelible scars occasioned by their determination to protect their country, no matter the hurdle. Despite these, they have remained resolute and undaunted, and today, all territories the insurgents once took control of have been recaptured and normalcy restored. And now, for the first time in a long time, the end of Boko Haram is foreseeable. Therefore, the wisest thing for the remaining insurgents to do is to surrender today or face total destruction from the army. Remember, the Nigerian army will stop at nothing to ensure that total peace is restored in all parts of the country. So, be wise and embrace peace today or get ready to be ruthlessly dealt with. This message is brought to you by the Coalition on Conflict Resolution and Human Rights in Nigeria.
Nigerians have tested political parties, religion and age. It is time to get a bridge builder to heal the wounds. Hassan Dan Kwabo. Under your watch as Executive Governor of Gombe State, you have been able to manage the state's resources in view of the numerous projects so far completed and the low statutory federal allocations accruable to the state. With your landmark achievements in healthcare, youth employment, women empowerment, road infrastructure, pipe-borne water, security, education and agricultural development, we are sure of a better Nigeria. 2019 is not about power or change, but rather it is about Dan Kwambo to replicate his humility and servant leadership. Dan Kwambo, Nigeria. Nigeria, Dan Kwambo.
Welcome Living Treasures Academy. Enjoy a conducive and serene learning environment. Qualified and experienced teachers. Equipped computer laboratory and library. Secured atmosphere. Extracurricular activities. All-embracing curriculum for total development of the child. Comprehensive education for leadership. Join us today for crèche to secondary levels. Living Treasures Academy, committed to excellence.
We have a very young population. Our population is estimated conservatively to be 180 million. This is a conservative one. More than 60% of the population is below the age of 30. A lot of them haven't been to school, and they are claiming, that Nigeria has been an oil-producing country. Therefore, they should sit and do nothing and get housing, healthcare, education free.
Well, you're welcome back to the program, The Real Campaign, here on Television Nigerian. And just immediately after that break, you saw the video of the president making that speech, and we've really dwelled on it. I was really spoken about it. If you were a member of the media team of the president, or if you were working for the president, and he has made this kind of speech, what will you have done as a damage control?
Okay, I would be sincere, because no man is perfect, and I'll say to the president, you need to retract the statement, you need to correct yourself, and then
not what
not to patch it up.
That he meant to say a lot of them and not all of them.
Just look at it. If your son or your child offends you and come back to say I'm sorry, would you not forgive him? You would be. You would definitely. So if I was the media person of the Mr. President, the easiest and simplest thing to do, and that's what we were taught growing up, is whenever you make a mistake, own up and apologize, and people would see that you're a woman, that you could make a mistake, and then they move on. So you should retract that statement.
Okay. Well, you should retract the statement. That's the best solution, you think. All right, let's move away from the president a little bit, and let's come back. Just yesterday, thank God you're going, very soon, by the grace of God, if you win the election, you will be in one of the chambers. Yeah. Just yesterday, a very big drama unfolded, and the Mace was stolen. Thank God the Mace has been found. In fact, the return of the Mace is what I call it. The video is going to play now to see the returning of the Mace. So can we have that video? Well, you just watched from the video, you saw The Return of the Mace. That's a new title. In fact, it might be a new song that will be released very soon, just like we had the Return of the Mark. So we have the Return of the Mace. The Mace was stolen from the Senate yesterday by thugs who some allege were brought in by the suspended Senator Obie Omoageki. And the first question was, what was he even really doing in the chamber if he was on suspension?
Without being prejudiced to the parties in this melee, it's alleged that Senator Omoageki led that show of shame, but without it casting aspersion, either way, it's a disappointment that we keep having this kind of shameful act playing out nationally. I even understood that there were some Ghanaian parliamentarians that came to the National Assembly to understudy the Nigerian Parliament and see what played out.
But it's also that's the love of democracy. Oh, well. That's what democracy is all about.
But democracy has its rules and ban, and nobody should play democracy in such a way that make mockery of it. That's in such a way that you then tramp over the rule of law. It's even so amazing that could happen despite you have the concentration of the security agents in National Assembly. You have the DSS, you have the police, and you have other security there. How should that be happening? It's
somebody will just walk up to the front of the Senate and pick up the mace with nobody apprehending them.
So sometimes when we give out to the executive government for underperformance, this also shows failure on the legislative government, either administratively or otherwise.
Because
you can do this in Congress in US.
That means if you can allow this to happen, that means somebody can one day just walk in there with a gun and then.
I mean, that's nothing stopping them.
If
they will do that, exactly as you said, Ernest, there's nothing stopping them. So there's systemic failure, fundamental failure in our governance, and that's the reason why young people need to actually rise up now and actually, go there and do better.
But many people, even the APC, the ruling party, and the PDP, especially the APC, have come out to condemn that act in totality. They are even asking the police to return the mace, catch the perpetrators, apprehend them, and then they should all be prosecuted, both the perpetrators and the sponsor of that unpalatable act. Because for us, it's a disclaimer. That was the 2003 the Ocalibo time.
No, it shouldn't even happen.
It shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't happen. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace that these things keep happening. We are reactionary rather than being proactive as a nation. We were just, still, recovering from the kidnap of the Chibok girls.
I'm
saying that we are recovering from Chibok girls. And the Dapchi happened. Shouldn't that have sent us a message? Shouldn't that have taught us something that we shouldn't be stricken twice? If that happened during the time of Okatipo, there should be by all means necessary mechanism to prevent that happening.
But I think
it shows that we relate.
But there was a mechanism, because when that mace disappeared, less than 4 hours another mace appeared.
Yeah, okay, well.
So maybe they now look, say, paraventure, they steal this one, we should have a spare.
But then it then shows, there is your where you want to go to should determine what kind of strategy you should adopt.
Okay.
If you want to have a very robust intervention for emergencies in Nigeria, so say from Lagos to Benin, that you can access in few minutes from both ends of the country. You would do also strong communication network, broadband. You would do a very sound technological structure. But don't forget that your goal is to save life. It's not the road. But that would enable you to. We're not thinking strategically. We're not thinking deep of what kind of institution, sustainable and enduring institution we want to build. So we are looking at issues in a short-term basis. We are looking at it every 4 years. We should be looking at the entire National Assembly.
Okay.
Look at Congress in America. You can penetrate Congress because each politician that comes in and go all the time, they think nationally, they think about national security, they think about country first. Okay. So they don't go there and argue about triviality. They go there and argue about things that will be enduring for national security and national development. So it's always about country first.
Country first, and maybe that's why the Senate President did stop all the political activities like the pro-Buhari. Shouldn't we commend the Senate yesterday that even with that, they still held the plenary? Oh, they did use that as an excuse to say, okay guys, the Mace is not here, let's go and rest. He said the likes of Shehu Sani was even ready to remove his jacket and use it as a maze for them to continue the plenary section, because as far as they are concerned, Nigeria is more important to them than that distraction.
Yeah, indeed, that's commendable in the first place. It actually sent a good signal, strong message that, hey, no matter who you are, you will not disrupt this democratic journey that we are on. So that's commendable. We must applaud them. But beyond just commending and applauding them, they must look deeper strategically about how to begin to think country first in all that they do, in all spectrum of aspects of National Assembly life.
Okay, this is the real campaign, and you are going to the House of Representatives, where definitely you will have opportunity to also debate some of these things, talk about these policies. Tell yourself, what exactly do we from this demography expect from you?
Indeed. I didn't just jump up to want to run for House of Reps in Buhari constituency. I was forced to come out. I haven't been a victim of bad leadership across the years that I've been in this city. I served in this city, and in 2000, I served incidentally in National Assembly. I've worked all my life in this city. I've contributed my part in taxes into community in this city. But nonetheless, of my very minute contribution, I realized that we've not had robust and adequate representation over time, over the years. If you go to the communities in FCT, say communities in Buhari, even other part of...
I live in Buhari,
yeah,
I live in Papi.
Oh, fantastic. So you'll find that even though the office I'm running for is a legislative office, it's not an executive arm of government. But you could have legislative agenda for community development. So what do I mean by that? You could have a legislative agenda that begin to look at how you can improve educational system within those communities, how you can improve road network within those communities, how you can improve and lobby the executive to do what they need to do based on budget allocation for infrastructures, public health. For instance, none of our communities has a functional library. And then you blame the youth that they are lazy, they are not working. For goodness sake, what does it cost this nation to build libraries, that state-of-the-art libraries that kids can use after school near their houses? They can do their mini research, they can do whatever they want to do there. We don't have sporting centers within our communities. So you have kids that are talented.
These are communities that some are already marked for demolition.
Indeed.
So how do we stop the demolition, and how do we get this ready? Because if you put all this infrastructure, you're talking the library, the sports centers and all this, and then
I was going to
demolish. How do we do
I was going to even link that to the housing, public housing and housing policy that we should have. It's not even a fault. It's not the fault of the people that are living in this place that has been marked for demolition. But by all means, I don't see any government on earth that destroy when there's nothing. You don't demolish people where people are living, where you do not provide public housing. Why should you go demolish, places where people are trying to have a livelihood that you failed to provide in the first place? So in my time, if I do have the trust and the confidence of the people to be elected, there wouldn't be any demolition. First, without government providing appropriate housing and well laid out community and migrate people that are originally where they are demolishing to those places. It's a function of government to provide basic infrastructure for social living. And that has not been.
President said you shouldn't wait to get that for free.
No. Oh God, this is not about having a sense of entitlement. This is about asking for governance. In every country, from Europe, Asia, to even our neighbors, so-called Ghana, they are providing roads, they are providing public care, they are providing housing.
At this age
so,
of
you know,
time,
why can you say that? That's the money.
At this age and time, should we be talking about roads, houses, medical care, libraries? Should we be talking of other economic benefits that can benefit the people?
Oh, indeed. Indeed, a lot. I was even going to come to a point that I wanted to raise before, I digress actually. Now, what is the greatest threat that we face as a country is deprivation. We don't have food security. We can't even feed ourselves, and yet we have the land. So why don't we have an agricultural revolution in community? It starts in the community.
But the president just posted that economically, agriculturally, that would be great.
When we are importing rice from
Although we say 90%, right now the 90% of rice that we eat from Nigeria.
When we are importing granite oil, when we are importing, salt, when we are importing virtually everything that we are eating. We are not producing enough. We may be producing, but we are not producing enough. We don't have food security, for instance. And that has to start from communities. We need to incentivize the farmers. We need to make agricultural development so attractive, so easy. And what do? You do farmer co-op. So you provide tools, infrastructure, and you put in a pool. So farmer in, say, Ushafa, or farmer, say, a farmer living in, say, Karu, or a farmer living in Dutse Alaji, don't need to go and look for loan to buy tractor. Once you have a pool in that co-op, it's then planning. Then everybody there can share that tool. Then again, they use the agricultural institution research centers that we have to begin to look at improved seedlings at the subsidized or even at nothing to these farmers, and then keep them. And then you begin to use the co-op system to teach them and help them to be able to do small transactions that can compete, that can compete and enhance their product. So, even around the West African market, we need to do that. That's where to start from. Until we begin to think about cooperative banking for communities that gives that loan at maximum of 3% to local community people to develop those local economies, we probably wouldn't move far as a nation.
So if you eventually get to the House of Representatives, is that some of the bills, some of
absolutely,
you will push, especially to enhance your constituency?
Absolutely. So even beyond that, we are going to even do mini scheme of some of these things. So we are going to do community cooperative banking that we can capitalize from income that I earn as an House of Rep member, and even from some of the constituency allowance, that we're going to have community cooperative banking. Say, for instance, the area of Amak and Buhari can be divided into 7 zones. So you have maybe Duse Alaji cooperative, community cooperative bank, Guarimpa cooperative community bank, and we capitalize them with 10 million to start.
So that way they can loan that.
They can loan that 10 million. So if that 10 million perform very well in the first 6 months, we capitalize again with another 10 million at the end of that another 6 months. Then for the period of 4 years, we could have a community cooperative bank being capitalized to the tune of 80 million. And then if you perform, you keep getting more. And because it's in competition, you know that if you decide to give your loan to people within your community that are going to spend it thinking that it's politician money, you don't get capitalized. Then the next community gets capitalized your share. So there's that competition.
You want a sense of belonging that I get it in my community, how use it to develop this community. So this community can also be self-reliant.
Exactly, because you see, we should not ignore those local economies. It's when you can develop local economy that it kind of spread and kind of grow. The people that live in these communities are people that are commuting from those communities to work. So they can keep them in the same place. If we can keep their purchasing power within those communities, it will develop the community. You know, so you need to be able to have people in those communities that can access loan max 3%. Why do I even say 3%? The 3% is just to run the bank. But because you have to pay those staff, you know, then it's even though some part of the function will be done voluntarily, but it has to be run or by professional and then supervised. I mean, the board can be voluntary. You know,
from the community still.
Exactly. So that's the way to go.
Okay, but we've had several politicians come talk eloquently, great oratory, and they tell us all these fantastic plans. But once they get into power or get into that house, you know, power corrupts absolutely.
Yes.
So once they get in and they now feel the strength of that power, all of a sudden the electorate cannot even come closer any longer. Some of these promises are not met. So what will make your own case different?
Thank you, Ernest. I've heard this assertion a lot, and rightfully so. People need to be wary of politicians, because this is what we heard over time. I've been told this also. I've suffered this. I believe this. You know, I haven't been a victim of such. I'm not going to ever play that again to any other person, because otherwise I don't have business in politics. I'm trying to teach my own children to be good people, and kids learn faster by what you do.
Yeah.
So I must then be truthful and to myself first, as a person I owe to myself, and then to my kids, to make them see that you can have good and accepted and live a good life if you do what you say. So, for instance, I'm never even going to change my number. It's the number that I have now that I'm going to have. The things that I say I would do, I have the blueprint already. So, for instance, the community cooperative bank, 7 community cooperative banks, capitalizing each of them 30 million every 6 months. I mean, it's doable.
Do you need to go into politics to do this? You can still do this outside politics.
Oh, yes, but I don't have. You know, I'm telling you that it's going to be 6 months. So, you know, you capitalize them because we want it to be substantial over time. I don't have. I'm just an average Nigerian lawyer. I don't have that resources and means to do it. We've approached certain people in government to help us provide the seed money. They never believe in us. They never think that that's doable. They will never even see the need what they should do it. So therefore, if I do that, if I go there, I'm going to show them that the same concept that I've sold to you as an idea can be done, and it's going to work. So you know what I mean. It's the blueprints are there. It's ready to run. We have think tank or group of professionals that are already thinking how this thing will play out. So it's not a cock and bull story. It's things that you can hold us accountable to. You say, hey, Mr. Man, this is what you said you were going to do.
So definitely, if you go in there, you will make sure you help improve the healthcare.
Yeah, okay. You know, I have to clarify that. All right. You see, it's a legislative office, so I'm not an executive. Yeah, right?
But you will.
So I cannot do that. But there's something they call strategic pressuring. That's putting pressure point on the executive to do
the chairman of the local
to do what has been appropriated for. What has been, because all these things, all this road, all these hospitals that we don't have, all these schools that we don't have, they have been budgeted for, and the money has been dispensed, you know, on paper. So what do I want to do? To then follow from the process of budgeting National Assembly to follow that we have a very responsible budget implementation, that the things that are budgeted for are actually visibly done in communities. That the communities that are put in those budgets actually be the ultimate recipient of this thing. And they have done very, I'm trying to look prudently. Through, you know, we're going to monitor the bidding process of some of these things, the procurement process of some of this. That whatever that is being done or budgeted for in our communities is actually being prudently executed. You know, so we are going to put a very strategic pressure point on the arm of executive to do that. We are going to be lobbying government to do what they need to do, we are never going to rest.
Looking at your sticker, you say, sack not performing politicians. Your PVC is your weapon.
Oh, yes.
So what you tell youth out there to go get their PVC?
Oh, indeed.
So talk to your youth in Buhari, in Amak and Buhari.
Okay.
Talk to your youth.
All right. The very fine young men and women of Nigeria, I'm appealing to you that you do have the power to be the boss in 2019. You have the power to sack all those non-performing politicians that have taken for so long for granted, that have denied you of the opportunities and amenities that should exist where you live, that should give you a air start in life. But you can't do that if you don't get your PVC. Our election matters, and it does count. You have to go out of your comfort to get your PVC, no matter the queue, no matter the frustration. If there's any INEC officer trying to frustrate you to ask for money or to deny you of that, please flag it up to me. My numbers are known, and also flag it up to INEC. It's your right to get that PVC, and it's your basic responsibility. You owe it to yourself, and you owe it to your children. Because if you don't get the right set of leaders right now in 2019, then it does affect the kind of future you're going to have. Because already, if I had very responsive and very deep-thinking politician along the line, I probably wouldn't be jobless when I finish school. I probably wouldn't be homeless in this city. I probably wouldn't be out of business when I tried to start up a business and the bank are asking me for ridiculous, So it does matter. It does matter who you put in there. Because if you put somebody that cares about you, ultimately, you will worry about the kind of banking policy that have been implemented. You will worry about the kind of public policy that have been implemented. You will worry about the kind of education system that are there. You will worry about all those little things that would ultimately play a factor in your life. And don't forget that, the world is becoming small, it's becoming globalized. So you're competing with the very fine people from China for your jobs here. You're competing with very fine people from US, Asia, and Europe. There are some good jobs in Nigeria, but those same good jobs are being competed for internationally by those people. So you must then worry about who represents you, so that you will not shortchange when you need those things.
So we'll just tell everybody out there that watch out for Prince David Adetuji Adeyeye, who will be competing and who will be asking for your vote come May. That will be February.
February
14th?
16th,
2019.
Yes.
Will be asking for your vote so that he can go and represent us, because I'm also from this constituency. He represents us in the House of Rep. It's really been a pleasure talking to you. I really had a great time, and I hope when we need, definitely you have to come back and really campaign the more here on TVN, that's Television Nigeria, and especially on the Rain campaign. I really had a great time talking to you. Thank you for coming on the program, and I just hope Nigerians, young people from the Amak Buhari Federal Constituency will vote this dynamic young man. Well, that has been our program today on the Rain campaign. I want to thank you for being part of the program, but please don't forget to hit the like button, just like our Facebook page or Television Nigerian, and then you can also do that on our YouTube page and get your friends to join the conversation. Invite as many as you can, and we'll get to see. And don't forget, a repeat broadcast of this program will be aired on the same platform later on today. But until I come your way again tomorrow, keep it up on Television Nigeria as you enjoy other programs. God bless you.